Star Trek's alternate reality Mariner is a brilliant Picard TNG callback. Star Trek has always been a universe that thrives on echoes of its past, weaving threads of nostalgia with bold new stories. Among the most delightful surprises in recent memory is the portrayal of Captain Mariner in Star Trek Lower Decks, especially when she crosses into alternate reality scenarios that evoke one of the next generation's most iconic figures, Jean-Luc Picard. On the surface, Mariner seems a far cry from Picard's composed gravitas, but the parallels are so cleverly drawn that they become a brilliant homage for fans who know where to look. First, it's important to consider the essence of both characters. Picard, in TNG, embodies disciplined command, intellectual curiosity, and moral reflection. He is measured in his actions, deeply aware of the weight of leadership, and often the anchor in the chaos of space exploration. Mariner, conversely, is brash, sarcastic, and decidedly unorthodox. She bends rules, scoffs at protocol, and frequently finds herself at odds with authority. On the surface, it seems almost sacrilegious to compare the two, but that's precisely why the callback works. The brilliance lies in contrast and subtle reflection. In an alternate reality episode of Lower Decks, we see Mariner navigating a scenario that mirrors classic TNG moral dilemmas. She is placed in a leadership position, responsible for the welfare of her crew during a first contact situation gone wrong. The tension is palpable. The fate of an alien species hangs in the balance, and every decision has consequences that could ripple across the quadrant. For fans of Picard, this immediately recalls episodes like The Measure of a Man or The Drumhead, where ethical dilemmas force the captain to confront the meaning of duty and morality. Mariner's approach is unconventional, improvisational, and often chaotic, yet the episode subtly frames her choices in a way that echoes Picard's introspection and ethical reasoning. The humor is present, of course, but so is the weight of leadership, just filtered through Mariner's irreverent lens. The visual callbacks are equally smart. In a particularly striking scene, Mariner stands on the bridge of her starship, silhouetted against the stars in a composition reminiscent of the many iconic shots of Picard on the USS Enterprise D. The camera angle, the lighting, even the lingering pause before she delivers her line all scream homage. The creators of Lower Decks are masters of this kind of detail. These visual nods are not just fan service. They reinforce the thematic connection between Mariner and Picard. They remind viewers that, despite her outward irreverence, Mariner carries a kernel of the same moral and intellectual rigor that defined Picard's tenure as captain. Another layer of the callback comes in dialogue and tone. Mariner's quips, while often sardonic, contain moments of profound insight. When faced with an impossible choice, she muses on the nature of leadership, responsibility, and consequence. For viewers familiar with TNG, the cadence of these moments mirrors Picard's reflective monologues. There's even a subtle nod to Picard's love of literature and history. Mariner references a famous Earth proverb in a moment of crisis, echoing Picard's tendency to draw wisdom from human culture. It's a small touch, but it crystallizes the connection between these two seemingly disparate characters. What makes this callback so effective is the interplay of expectation and surprise. Lower Decks thrives on subverting expectations, and Mariner herself embodies that spirit. By placing her in scenarios that mirror Picard's challenges, the show creates a layered viewing experience. Fans of TNG immediately recognize the homage, while new viewers appreciate the clever storytelling and character development without needing prior knowledge. It's a rare instance where Star Trek's legacy is honored without feeling forced or nostalgic for nostalgia's sake. Mariner's irreverence doesn't undermine Picard's gravitas. It reframes it in a fresh, modern context, proving that the values of the next generation, ethical responsibility, thoughtful leadership, and compassion, are timeless, even in comedic form. Finally, the callback works because it emphasizes Star Trek's enduring theme, the universality of human and Starfleet values. Picard's stories were often about moral courage and intellectual integrity. Mariner, though chaotic and playful, ultimately demonstrates those same qualities. She shows that leadership and wisdom can take many forms, that moral clarity isn't always delivered in a polished package. In doing so, she honors Picard not by imitation, but by embodying his essence in her own irreverent way. In conclusion, the alternate reality Mariner is a masterstroke of homage to Jean-Luc Picard. Through visual composition, ethical storytelling, and moments of reflective dialogue, Lower Decks creates a bridge between the irreverent, rule-breaking Mariner and the disciplined, Philosophical Picard. It's a callback that rewards,